to the city where Parliament buildings, where Raquel Mwai is standing by the latest. Raquel, has there anything changed there? Have the lines gone down now, or what's going on?
Trevor, at the moment, the queue is not as long as it was the last time we spoke. Right now, it's just a single queue. And also because of the rain that has just poured a few minutes ago, it's just slightly, probably it has interfered with what was happening from the security checkpoint up until the Parliament buildings. But right now, I'm joined by leaders from the Interfaith Council who will just speak to us basically on what kind of relationship they had with former President Mwai Kibaki. Thank you so much, Father Joseph Mutie, for joining us. Just tell us briefly some of the most memorable experiences you've had with the former president.
Thank you. Allow me to take this moment first to console the family and the nation, and on behalf of the Interreligious Council of Kenya, say that we are deeply touched by the passing on of our father, our president. As the Interreligious Council, we convey our deep and heartfelt condolences and say ni kwema mbeleni. Na nichukue nafasi hii niseme kwamba Rais Kibaki alikuwa mtu ambaye alipenda dini, na alipenda sana kukutana na viongozi wa dini na kusikiza mambo yao, na alipenda sana kwa sababu alitembea na viongozi wa dini, na kama Wakenya wanavyokumbuka ufungamano wakati ule ilikuwa ndio chanzo cha revolution katika nchi hii. Kwa hivyo alikuwa ni mzee ambaye alitembea zaidi, worked so very much and closely with the religious leadership in this country towards the liberation of this country, towards the liberations on the economy of this country, and we had many engagements just to guide but have a moment to think together on what is best for this country. Allow me at this moment just to request our own from the Interreligious Council of Kenya, and as I told you, we are coming from the different religious coordinating bodies. So we do have the Secretary of the Evangelical Alliance of Kenya, who can say much on behalf of the Interreligious Council of Kenya. So welcome, Dr. Makanda.
Yes, Dr. Makanda, just from what Father Mutie has mentioned, how Mwai Kibaki was a man of faith, a man who interacted well with the religious leaders. But it would be good to hear from you some of the most notable or memorable experiences that you shared with him.
I think from the Evangelical Alliance of Kenya and from the RCK, as Father Mutie has said, we want to pass our condolences and to pray that the family will be comforted and encouraged. But just allow me to say that when he took over power, his first experience was to invite the people that had accompanied him around the Fungamano initiative. And the critical among them were religious leaders. And I remember him inviting the Honorable Mutava Musimi, was the General Secretary at that time of NCCK, and a few others. And at that time he said, this is for Kenya. What has just happened for me to have become president is for Kenya and is for all of us. And we will all remember the hope that was reignited when he became president. So that even in his death, it would be nice for us not to forget that moment in 2002 and in 2003 when he became president. How Kenyans were excited. In fact, it was said that Kenyans were the most hopeful people at that time globally. And just to tell Kenyans, he has served Kenya well. He has lived his time. We celebrate him as an icon who restored us from the pit, as it were, because when he became president, before he became president, we had been shunned by the World Bank, IMF, the Bretton Woods, and we had structural adjustments, and the economy was shrinking. But when he came up, he revived the hopes of many Kenyans, children who went to school, healthcare that was revived, infrastructure that came up, the businesses that were revived, and so it's just to say, even in death, let's carry that hope. And as we approach the elections that are coming in 2022 in August 9th, let's know that Kibaki's death should be a herald of the hope that we had in 2002, so that Kenyans should not be, let's not kill our hope, but let's be rejuvenated and celebrate him and give it to him.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us and for speaking to us and telling us how the interaction was with President Mwai Kibaki, with the religious leaders, not just as a man of faith, yes, but how he got to interact with you and put religious leaders at the forefront in some of the decision making that he was doing at the time. Yes. Thank you so much. So at this point, we'll just be watching out and seeing how it is. But so far, the queue is not as it were in the morning. It's a few people, but we do expect that by midday, the queues will, the public will be here, and a lot of people will be coming here to pay their last respects before close of business today. Trevor.
Thanks, Raquel. Raquel Mwai, they are speaking to us live from Parliament, where the body of the former head of state, Mwai Kibaki, is lying in state for the third day running. Kenyans are allowed to view as we speak for the final